keynote address from the head of product at MYOB, Valantis Vais, and as the head of product and as senior executive at MYOB, it's always great, and we always appreciate the likes of Valantis to come along and talk to all of us directly for user groups. And being the vendor of the product, we can't get better than hearing it from the horse's mouth. So it's a great pleasure to welcome you here, Valantis, and over to you.
Thank you, Grant, for that very lovely introduction, and thank you for including me today in this user group session. I'm always very excited to be speaking to our users. They are the most important people to me, and they're the people who bring all of this amazing software that we build to life. My name is Valantis Vais. I'm the head of product, as Grant mentioned, and I joined MYOB in late 2021 and have already started to be amazed by the many, many use cases that I've seen that our software is able to kind of help businesses start, survive, and succeed. So today, when I was asked to speak to you, I was thinking about what's the most important things that we did in 2021, and what are the things that I could share with you to kind of help you think through kind of the various things that you are most likely thinking about from a digital transformation perspective, but also in terms of getting the most value out of your existing investment. So there's a couple of things that we'll touch on today. One, I'm going to be taking you through some of the insights that we got from our Forrester report. So this was some research that we conducted to help understand what was happening in businesses across Australia and New Zealand. I'll give you a quick headline in terms of some of the stuff we've been doing for our Exo customers specifically. Then I'd really like to take this opportunity to talk to you about the Advanced platform, our cloud native solution that is potentially the right choice for you, depending upon where you are up to in your business and your kind of digital transformation, or it could just be something to kind of get your mind thinking about what the future could hold for you. So with that, let me pull up some slides and we can jump right in. So let's go. So the Forrester research we conducted late last year was basically on the premise of we were having conversations with customers and we were seeing certain challenges. And we were starting to see a pattern in those challenges. And what we wondered was, is this something just in the people that we're speaking to, or is this actually kind of across the entire market? So is this a broad-based challenge that's being faced by businesses across Australia and New Zealand, and something that as a business, MYOB should really lean into it and support the change? So what we conducted was some research. We actually commissioned Forrester Consulting to do some research for us. And what they did is they sent out an online survey to 420 respondents, and also had some really deep interviews with seven businesses specifically. And what we found from this research was mind-boggling. So there was kind of three main areas, and the title of the report is called Seizing the Advantage. So if you want to read the whole report, Google Seizing the Advantage MYOB, and you'll be able to find that link. But I will give you some of the headlines today for some of you who are a little more time poor and may not have the chance to read it. But hopefully some of these insights will kind of spur you enough to actually read the whole report, because there's more in there as well. So the three areas that kind of came out as key things for businesses to consider. One is that ineffective, inefficient, and outdated business and people management solutions are costing businesses time, money, and growth. And what that means is that not only were there businesses who were wasting time, there were businesses, kind of time is money, so it kind of made sense, but then also you had aspects of growth. You had businesses that were unable to meet their growth ambitions based on the fact that the solutions that they had today. The second challenge that we found was that to succeed in the post-COVID world, so if you think about the timing of this study, back end of 2021, what was already at this stage being identified, that mid-market businesses must seize the opportunity presented by the new approach to business software. So already that digital transformation was occurring, and businesses were identifying the need for them to tackle those opportunities. And then the third thing that really jumped out was that they must pivot to what we call a future fit unified business platform that is cloud enabled. Now, I know for many of you, you're on the Exo platform and you may have already looked at MYOB Advanced, but this is kind of the tone of the market. So you can kind of take this as another data point in your decision making. Now, I love data, and I kind of love some of the metrics that came out of it. So I just wanted to share some of those specifically with you. So in terms of the dollars wasted that I mentioned earlier, there was about 2.7 million in Aussie and 2.2 million in New Zealand dollars lost in productivity per year because of current solutions. That number's on a per business basis. So of a business of a certain size, $2.7 million kind of incremental profit is essentially what would be available. And kind of what does a lot of that look like? part of it is wasted time. That's at 12.5 hours wasted per week per employee due to manual and repetitive tasks. To be honest, when I saw that first number, I was like, oh, I can't believe it. 12.5 hours, it's about a day and a half of somebody. And then I wondered, well, actually, in the businesses that I'd spoken to, could I imagine the financial controller working another couple of hours in the afternoon to kind of consolidate the financials? Yeah, I could. Could I see someone in the warehouse trying to kind of basically manage their inventory and then pulling it out again into Excel, or worse, kind of going around counting inventory on a regular basis because they can't find where that item is or whether they need to order more items? And you play through all of the various scenarios and you're just like, yeah, actually, I can see that. I can see people working extended hours to be able to kind of tackle the work that's required that's unable to be done with the systems they have. The other bit, which was very surprising, was that kind of 94% of businesses recognize that their system challenges hurt their growth. So this, for me, really jumped out. This means that 94% of businesses know that they have a challenge and are struggling to overcome it, which for me is an opportunity for MYOB to really help out. The second aspect was customer experience. So we talked about kind of wasted profit, wasted time, lack of growth. But even for the customers that they do have today, almost 50% see a worse customer experience because of their systems. So think about, in this instance, it's the poor customer service experience because the customer service person is unable to find the right information to kind of give that customer the information they need to know when an order is arriving. 50%, incredible. And then the last part is low value tasks. So 69% don't have time to focus on growth. So think about that. You've got 12.5 hours wasted doing manual work so you're wasting that time. But you've also got the opportunity cost. That time isn't being spent thinking about the opportunities, thinking about how to kind of seize the opportunities that are coming about. And for us, that really jumped out as an area where MYOB as a business well and truly needs to kind of jump in and help solve the problem. And some of the solutions that we have are there. There's actually a few more numbers here, but actually I don't think we'll have time to go through. But what I do kind of really suggest that you do is read the full report. There's an incredible amount of information there and an incredible amount of things and quite helpful tips in terms of how you can get started. But with that, I did want to leave you with one final number in the context of this report. So businesses with these future fit platforms grow faster than their industry peers by 3.2 times. 3.2 times. That's huge. Imagine what you could do with 3.2 times more growth than your industry peers. In many industries, that differential is the difference between success and failure. That's the difference between being able to outgrow your competitor and outscale them. And this is purely through the benefits of having a future fit platform. For me, that was absolutely incredible. And like, how does that translate in day to day? So I kind of speak to customers all the time, and one customer's quote that I've got up here on the screen is the one that really sits with me. And this was a GM of operations at a transit media company. And what he said was that he wants the ability to scale up his business without scaling up their costs. That's pure clarity in terms of what you're able to achieve with a future fit platform. An ability to continue to grow revenue with your OpEx staying somewhat flat. Amazing. Now, I know for many of you, you're on the Exo platform and I'm talking to you about kind of cloud solutions. But one of the things I did want to make sure that you're all aware of is that Exo is an incredibly important product for us. And the customers who have invested over many years in that platform are continuing to be incredibly important. And we will continue to support customers on that platform such that they can get the greatest benefit out of the investment that they have today. Now, over time, you'll continue to see us make improvements to certain parts of the functionality or certain improvements to existing functionality to make sure it works as expected. And what you'll continue to see is those 4 releases per year. And I won't go through the long list of things that were in those enhancements. The best people to talk to would be your partner, just to make sure that they're pulling out the most relevant list of feature enhancements, which are most relevant for you, because it's quite a list there. The other thing for me is just making sure that you're benefiting from those enhancements by ensuring you're on the latest version. There's no point in me building new capabilities that customers aren't adopting in the newest version. So the one thing for you to continue to be on the latest version is going to be incredibly important. And that's kind of where our support focuses as well. So we're focused on supporting the current year and the previous 4 releases. So essentially the last 2 years. Now, the second aspect, which is important, is how we are supporting all of you loyal customers who have been with us for a very long period of time in your digital transformation. The vast majority of you are at some level of maturity in terms of either A, knowing that it's something you need to think about, versus all the way at the end being actually you're ready to take the plunge and you're kind of ready to start to move to the cloud or ready to start to digitize certain parts of your operation. One of the things that we're focused on right now is how can we ensure that you continue to have access to the data through that digital transformation. So we're looking at things like making sure that you have historical access to your system while you're moving across, which is something that other vendors won't be able to do. The other thing that I would kind of get you thinking about is that digital transformation. I won't underestimate the scale of the challenge, but also the scale of the opportunity, which we talked about, but also the importance of having a partner who can help you through that process. Having a partner who understands your current system, your business, and the future system is huge in terms of how seamless you can make that transition. And that's one of the things for you to think about as you start to kind of shape out your digital transformation. One of the big things that kind of causes digital transformations to be unsuccessful is people underestimate or don't kind of appropriately think through what is the right way for them to kind of slice their move to their future solution. And then the final aspect that we're focused on at MYOB in terms of building those enablement tools to support adapting to those new workflows. So one of the things I make sure that you think about is the idea here through a digital transformation, and this is distinct from a technology kind of migration, is you're not trying to take your existing solution and put it in the cloud. What you're trying to do is your existing solution had an awesome impact and continues to kind of support your business, but don't miss the opportunity to potentially relook at your workflows, relook at some of your business practices to kind of bring them up to spec in terms of getting the best benefits out of your new solution and more modern processes. Now, I will touch on some of these, and I'm sure many of your partners may have spoken to you about these in the past, so I won't spend too much time on them, but I did want to introduce the platform for some of you who may not have actually looked at kind of MYOB Advanced in the platform. One of the things that's incredibly interesting is its ability to almost adapt to the different parts of your business. It also is able to adapt in terms of where you want to start. So as an example, do you want to start on customer management? Do you want to start on financials and compliance? Is it more about people and payroll, or is it more about managing kind of your work in progress and supplies? This kind of adaptable platform enables you to kind of focus on the pieces of the business, focus on the pieces of your business, where you will get the greatest benefit of moving. So don't just move for the sake of moving, but actually go after very specific opportunities. And the advanced platform gives you that flexibility. So I know that there's a lot on this slide, but I did want to kind of show you that there's many pieces to the advanced solution. So you have, if you're in manufacturing and construction, the ability for you to manage kind of your shop floor or your ability to manage projects is possible. You also have the ability to manage ERP kind of type of activities. So things like managing your warehousing or managing your consolidation, payroll, workforce management. There's a lot in this solution. And unfortunately, I don't have the time to take you through all of it. But the critical thing for me is if you haven't had a conversation with your partner about how to approach the advanced solution based on what you have today, I kind of suggest you do. The other aspect, because I know many of you are also using Exo employee services, is I wanted to touch on payroll. So MYOB Advanced Payroll and Workforce Management is a future fit cloud payroll solution that gives you incredible productivity enhancements, gives you connected workflows, and is also built in a way that meets the kind of user experience needs of most of your employees. So think about a mobile experience for you to manage timesheets, for you to manage your employee information, which is something that more and more employees are kind of expecting of their employer. Now, let's talk a little bit about 2021 before I run out of time and Grant cuts me off. So in 2021, a few areas we released kind of MYOB Advanced Construction, we released Professional Services and also Workforce Management. We also, for our Kiwi friends, kind of released Payroll in New Zealand, still in early adopters program at the moment, but shortly we'll go into general availability. And there was also an acquisition in Greatsoft, MYOB Greatsoft now, which is very focused on accountants. The other thing which I want to, as you reflect on what's possible in the solution is the 120 new features across the MYOB Advanced platform. I won't give you the list and I won't give you the 300 pages of release notes. Similarly to the comment I made earlier, talk to your partner. Talk to your partner to understand how some of these new features are things that may be the trigger for you to kind of be like, I think now's the time to move to advanced versus before it may not have been. The other aspect, ecosystem. When you talk about a cloud solution like advanced, the ecosystem is just as important as the core platform. So just as much as I love to build product and I like to create experiences for our customers, having a successful and flourishing ecosystem is also critical for any cloud platform. And this is something that we have today. So we have 800 apps that are in our marketplace. We actually added 31 new ones in 2021 specifically. We have 360 ISVs, 108 new ones added in 2021. And we also now have these strategic partnerships, and we added 3 new ones in 2021 between Velixo, Netstock, and EasyCollect. This ecosystem essentially allows you to get access to very specific capability that you need for your business. The MYOB Advanced platform will never be able to do everything for everyone. And to be honest, if I tried to build it, I'd never finish. So the ecosystem and having a successful ecosystem is, in my view, a key kind of feature in terms of being able to have a cloud platform that's able to to meet your needs. And to give you a very specific example, like if I talk about Velixo, which is a strategic partnership of ours, what it enabled us was the ability to bring the flexibility and power of Excel to the benefits of having kind of highly structured data inside Advanced. And by bringing those two things together, what you're able to do is make much faster business decisions with the right information at the right time. And for us, this ecosystem will continue to provide us that kind of innovation and that ability to service very, very specific needs. So what's in plan for 2022? 6 main areas that we're focused on in 2022 on the Advanced platform. And equally, these may be the areas that kind of spur you to take a look. So Acumatica releases. So for some of you may not know, but the Advanced platform continues to benefit from the global capabilities of Acumatica. So Acumatica gives us 2 major releases per year and continues to add hundreds of features inside those releases. So we're going to be continuing to kind of broaden and streamline how customers benefit from those new capabilities. Industry capabilities. Long gone are the days where an ERP solution is just the thing that lives inside finance to kind of run financials. Our business management platform goes into the workflows that you use to run your manufacturing floor, to run your projects, and we will continue to extend those workflows. Ecosystem. I touched on how important it was in 2021, continues to be this important in 2022, and I suspect 23 and 24 won't be any different. So think more apps that are easier for customers to access. That's the thing that we're trying to achieve with the ecosystem. Payroll. Payroll has been incredibly powerful for our Australian customers for a while. We're now looking to make it faster and easier for larger customers while continuing to be compliant. And as I mentioned earlier, for us to kind of get to general availability in New Zealand. Advanced workforce management is one of the newer kids on the block. And what we're continuing to invest in 2022 is in terms of deepening that connectivity into the platform and offering a broadening set of capabilities. So we're looking at things like recruiting as a feature and a capability that we're likely to release the back end of 2022. And then the final aspect is scale. So the Advanced platform is seeing incredible growth in terms of the number of new customers that are coming on the platform. And we're continuing to see larger and larger businesses coming onto the Advanced platform. So what we're doing is continuing to enhance the product performance, both in terms of kind of speed performance, but also in terms of how we help customers to manage some of their needs on a self-serve basis. So things like sandboxes and customers being able to manage those alongside their partners, but then also aspects in terms of making sure that they have greater visibility in terms of how they kind of drive the greatest performance out of their system is also something that we're focused on. So I recognize that's a lot of information, but I was given a short time slot. But I really appreciate being able to speak to you all today and taking you through both some of the areas in terms of what we've been doing with the Exo kind of platform specifically, what we're doing with the Advanced platform, and also kind of more broadly what we're seeing in the entire marketplace. So thanks again for having me, and I'll hand it back to Brad.